Well, good morning, everyone. It is March 24th, 2025, and the favorite time of our week because it's Mondays with Bev and Paul. Hi, everybody. My name's Paul.
Good morning. This is Bev.
Good morning, Bev.
Good morning, Paul.
And good morning, all of you out there in La La Land or whatever land you live on, anywhere on the world, because we are global. This is a global uh, international organization, and so we have people all over the world who get a chance to see this. We have two new web pages, part of our website. We have a justtouch.com/Egypt, justtouch.com/Turkey, and those pages are in those languages of those countries.
Yeah.
So we're looking for certified practitioners who would like to get certified anywhere in the world. We have Mexico next, Germany. We'll be doing a section of our website in all those different languages, even though you can go to the website and just click on the translate button, but sometimes it doesn't translate it very well. So here we are today. We're going to talk about how do I love thee? What the heck does that have to do with BioTouch? And I got this idea because Elizabeth Barrett Browning's poem came to me. This is a woman poet in the 1850s. I'll just read the first little stanza. She goes, "How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach when feeling out of sight for the ends of being and ideal grace."
Oh,
Oh. And
wow.
so our first part of love is we're going to go to our dream catcher. And we're going to give love and juice and energy to Brad and Susan Rickson. They were certified practitioners here at BioTouch here in Tucson. I know for sure Brad's passed on. I haven't heard from Sue in a long time. So we're just sending them lots of love. We put them in the middle of the dream catcher. And if you'd like to be in the dream catcher, just let us know and we'll put your picture there and send you lots of love from BioTouch and all the
Yes.
people that walk past the dream catcher here at the center in Tucson, the international headquarters. So all of our love to you and Brad and Susan, and thank you for all your years of service you gave to
Right.
BioTouch. Yep.
Yes, definitely.
All right, here we go. So we talked about AI last week. so,
Yeah.
so just for the heck of it, I plugged in, hey, how does love relate to BioTouch healing? And we're going to go over the answers.
Amazing.
So the first thing, it came back and it goes, BioTouch is a gentle touch-based healing technique that emphasizes human connection and well-being. Its relationship to loving comes from the way it fosters compassion, presence, and care between the practitioner and the recipient. So read the first bullet.
Okay, here's how they're all related. So, healing through love. BioTouch is based on the idea that touch carries an inherent energy of love and healing. The act of intentionally placing hands on another person with kindness promotes feelings of care, comfort, and emotional safety.
Yeah.
Energy flows where the loving mind goes. And this was from Gary Schwartz.
Yes,
Yeah,
Gary
yeah,
Schwartz talked about that exactly.
right.
And what's nice about that too is it talks about uh, when on another person with kindness promotes care, placing a hands on somebody with kindness. And
Yeah,
and yet we've always said, it doesn't matter what you're thinking about. Something
right.
is inherent in the technique that
Yeah,
if you just place those fingers on someone, it bypasses our monkey mind
yeah,
to that place within us where love resides.
that's right.
And so
Absolutely
just
right.
the placing of those fingers does exactly what this little, and it's like Gary says, energy flows where the loving mind goes. And that's what BioTouch is sort of that loving mind. Just place the fingers in the points, and the
And that's where the
that's where
body
it
will
flows.
receive
Yeah,
it.
that's the
It's
loving mind.
kind of interesting when it said the act of intentionally placing. And we've said so many times, well, there's really not an intention when you start to practice biotouch with another person.
Right.
As you say, you just do, but in this case, when you intentionally act through kindness, That just changes everything right there.
Well, it's interesting because if you read it there, it says the act of intentionally placing hands. So
That's right.
that's the intention.
That's
And
the
that's what we've
intention.
always said to people. There's only one
Yeah.
intention. You have
One
to be
intention.
willing to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
You
Yeah,
don't have to have a thought of love and kindness
right.
the intentional placing of the hands. That's
And
the only intention that's
that's the
needed.
key.
Not
Yeah,
anything else. It's not a mind game
right.
and thought process. Just place the hands there, folks.
Yep, yep. That's it.
And the second one, go ahead, you read it again.
Non-intrusive and respectful. Ooh, I like that word. Unlike some healing modalities that require force or deep manipulation, BioTouch is light and non-invasive, respecting the natural energy of the body. This respect mirrors the qualities of unconditional love, gentle, accepting, and nurturing. Wow.
So again, we can't tell you enough. It's light butterfly-like touch
Hmm.
that has as a profound effect on the body as deep tissue work. And we've been told that by massage therapists,
Yes, we have.
that it works on the fascia, that which holds everything together. And then they
Yeah,
can go in there and do their massage
yeah.
or their manipulation, but they don't have to go as deep.
Right. It's like the body takes a big breath, and just releases what it's been holding. And
Right.
so, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah, and
amazing.
it's interesting. It talks a lot in this AI response about the energy, the natural energy. We've
Right.
always for decades, we don't really like to talk about. We're not really an energy modality, but that
Right.
term's being thrown around. That BioTouch has just been thrown into that,
Yeah,
even though
pretty
we don't
much.
even know what the hell that is.
Yeah. Okay, it's out there. But you know
Yeah,
what? We've often said we're part of the global conversation now about because the healing and well-being is a big thing for humanity. It's a quality of life. So we're just going to enter into it and just be part of the conversation when it comes to things like that. Yeah, just
right.
it's okay. It's all right.
So the next thing it goes over is connection and presence.
Connection and
Yeah,
presence.
love is about being present with someone in a meaningful way. BioTouch requires the practitioner to be fully present with the recipient, creating a space of deep connection and trust, much like the way love fosters intimacy and bonding.
Well, we certainly have talked about that a few times, haven't we?
Yeah, and it's just about being present with someone,
Yeah.
And what's interesting is that is our description of why we actually call people associates.
Yes, exactly.
One in company with another, basing it on equality and
It
caring for another,
fosters an
fosters care.
intimacy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
intimacy. Yes.
Yeah.
So, all these things have been part of the basis for BioTouch that allows healing to happen. We don't
Right.
have to manipulate the body. We don't have to diagnose. We don't have to recommend. We have to just put love into action, which we're going to share with you of the song by Horace. But by putting that into action and trusting the process, people will find their own way. I mean, look
Yeah.
what's happened to you started with eczema, and
Yeah.
it's taken you on a journey of all kinds of
Oh my goodness.
directions.
It sure has.
Yeah.
Yep.
And trusting
Discovery
that you
and
know what
trusting.
you
Yeah.
need and you'll find what you need when you need it.
Yeah. And I have. I
Yeah.
have. It's
And
wonderful.
BioTouch has been a big part of that I think all these years. And that's how we work with everyone, trusting that people will find what they need when they need it. Even if they're sitting here in the center, they're going to meet somebody. We don't
Yeah.
have to diagnose.
No.
Somebody else is going to come in and love to diagnose. I mean, the world loves to diagnose.
We do. Let me tell you what's wrong with you and how to fix it.
Let me tell you what's wrong with you, and let me tell you what I did and that you should do. Those are, I mean, I remember once we had one of our practitioners was having a heart arrhythmia or some kind of heart problem. And what he loved about coming into BioTouch, and he said that to me once, he said, I love coming here because you just respect me and you just touch. In a sense, you just love me. And you allow me
Yes.
to find my own things where all
Oh,
my other
man.
friends that, out of concern or whatever, they're all telling me what I should do and I should try this and
Right.
I should go here and did you hear about this?
Oh, yeah. No, it's ongoing, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah. I think one of the important things about BioTouch, that respect goes down to the bone. It's about respecting the um the intelligence of the body. We're not used to thinking of our bodies as being a unit of balancing and interaction and all that. We're so many times on the outside of that body looking on. BioTouch brings us into that deep connection with our own body. I think that is just a really different um, element that this healing modality lets us go to instead of being, we get to participate. That's the thing.
yeah,
BioTouch says, no, this is your body. You get to, and the body knows.
yeah. And hopefully we're creating, it's like, it's interesting because that CIA agent, who took our first class
Yeah,
and said he'd been involved in a lot of revolutions, but didn't find one as powerful as what was happening back there in 1989 in that little town of Mancos, Colorado. He says, because this revolution happening here is based on love.
well, there you go. That's
And
that's when you know the revolution will be successful when you base it on love.
right. So, join the revolution of love, folks, with
Yeah,
BioTouch, and let's go on to
absolutely.
the next bullet that AI helped us understand about BioTouch and love.
Yeah, reduces stress and promotes, I love this, well-being. So love, whether self-love or love from others, has been shown to reduce stress and boost overall well-being. Similarly, BioTouch helps regulate the nervous system, decrease pain, and enhance relaxation, allowing the recipient to feel cared for and valued. And I just want to say that we have to keep bringing back because we talk about the overall well-being of the body and the self-awareness. But the truth is, BioTouch helps to heal the body. It's not just all these other parts of ourselves. The physical body actually gets better.
Right. And I think what's important here also is we have the research to show this one.
Yeah,
We did research with hundreds of people, almost 1,000 people, and one of the
right.
questions was, how cared for do you feel? And I think we can actually show that research, especially the one we did with the university students.
Oh, yeah,
Here it is here, the ratings of feeling cared for pre and post session. And we had Amity, a drug rehab community, Hawaii, Arizona, California, and everybody before felt down in the 6 and 5s of feeling cared for. And when they were done with a few minute session, they were up everybody into the 8s, you know.
yeah. Wow,
And then, we had that one research where we touched on the clothes, we touched off the body and touched on the skin. And it
right.
across the board, people felt more cared for when they were touched on the skin
On the skin. Yep,
and felt less cared for when it was off the body kind of work.
right. Very
So, touching
interesting.
on the skin, there's no finer way. And when you're doing it in a butterfly like touch, and especially doing that greeting point, which is right there in the solar plexus, and somebody lets you touch them there lightly like a
Yeah,
butterfly, talk about a connection. I mean,
yeah, absolutely.
you know,
It's
I'm picturing this cartoon, right, where you touch and all these lights go off and cherubims
right.
and angels come down from heaven and
Wow.
shooting out of the top of our head.
There's a reason to be touched right
Yeah,
there.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then the final bullet we had here, which BioTouch encourages self-love and healing. When people receive BioTouch, they often feel more connected to themselves, experiencing a sense of peace and self-acceptance.
Oh,
we just talked about that. It's amazing when people feel worthy in themselves
Yes.
and that
Yes.
they know. When you say to people, you'll know what to do,
Yeah.
we don't get that very often.
No, we do not. Mm-mm.
And
Nope.
we've talked about before. We give our life and our health care to all these institutions and all these tests, and I
Uh,
mean, and oh my God, if the test is outside this little window, we have some disease, and then we're inundated with TV commercials and radio commercials. Take this, and you know it's amazing how many diseases have shown up more and more as the years
Isn't
go
that,
on.
I know,
Yeah.
that's absolutely true. I'm wondering about that.
And every disease has a medication. I had a naturopath, old-time naturopath. He said, um, basically in a lot of the standard care, you're medicine deprived
Ooh. Uh-huh.
instead of getting your health together. Medicine deprived. I mean, come on. so,
Oh, I'm
so BioTouch, how do I love thee? How do I love thee? Let me count the ways. Well, we just counted the ways. And
yeah,
just as she goes on, I love thee to the depth and breadth and height my soul can reach. That's why we do BioTouch,
that's
folks.
it.
Really, that's the only reason I do it. I mean, when I heard that guy say, BioTouch was a revolution of love, there's really no other reason to do BioTouch that I
No,
can think of.
right.
And
No,
the
that's the foundation of the whole thing.
and the icing on the cake, bodies get better. You know.
They do.
But remember, this is not a love of a concept.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's important that we
That's
talk about.
important.
Yeah, it's not a concept. This is not some concept of love. You don't have to
Right.
talk about it. Like I said, you don't have to like the person you're working on. Even acknowledging that I don't like you or that your hairstyle offends me, that's an honesty with ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't change the love between us. We all have opinions and conjectures. I'm constantly judging myself. I get up in the morning and I'm saying, oh my God, I think I need a haircut. My hair's too long. Or, oh, my eyes, they've got these things here. Or, I look at Bev and I say,
But I
oh,
love you anyway.
what's even jerks can be loved. And I've proven that
That's right.
being one of the bigger jerks on the planet. And BioTouch has helped me over all these years to really accept more of everything that's out there. I
Yeah.
used to be
No,
very
that's
judgmental
so
about
important.
the medical system and this is, conspiracy theory, and now it's like, believe whatever you want. Let's just
Right.
love one another. Let's just touch one another
Yeah. Yeah.
and allow
That's
healing to
that's where
happen.
at.
Yeah.
Well, this is the perfect time for this message, as we know, because, oh my gosh, all over the world, humanity
Yep.
itself is waking to, love might be a concept as far as we're concerned at this point, but when you start to actually practice something that's based on what we feel is love, how can you go wrong? You
Yeah.
are activating what's inherent in all of us, our hearts.
And so here we have BioTouch Healing with the Power in Our Fingertips
Yep,
by
our
our one and
wonderful
only
book.
Deborah Schildhouse. And again, we'll close this afternoon, this morning, wherever you are, with Gary Schwartz's foreword. He goes, the kind of love that BioTouch fosters is a high level of love, including empathy, compassion, caring, kindness, gentleness, protection, safety, warmth, gratitude, appreciation, and respect.
It's
It
right
doesn't
there,
get any
Karen.
better than that,
Nope.
except with Horace Barnes with his famous song, Putting Love into Action. We'll play it here, but we'll also include a link to it in the email you get of the copy of this. I'll post it on this Facebook page, on our Instagram, and just listen to the whole thing when you get a chance. It was a wonderful inspiration by Horace. I think he wrote it for when the BioTouch book came out.
Yes.
So we want to thank you. We're here every week just trying to share a little bit of love with you. Thank you
Okay.
all for letting us in your home.
Bye, everyone.
If pain has got you down and you live in town, take a trip down to Pima Street. The people down there are people who care. They will get you back on your feet. Put love into action. Put love into action. If you ever want to have any real satisfaction, choose love while you still can. Don't even try to understand. A healing grace in your own hands. Put love into action.